yourself to Allah. That's your heart is, as I say, home to where the heart is. It doesn't really mean, well, my heart is in Brighton, so that's where my home is. Your heart is here, so your home is there. And that's how I feel. I felt when I came into Islam, I had joined a whole community, not just of Muslims, but of religious people. It was a very new way of looking at the world. And it's difficult really to explain, but I really started to feel that we are living in Jahiliyyah here. And when you first convert, you see things in very, very clearly in black and white. And so I was thinking, actually, our situation here as Muslims in the UK is the same as the early Muslims in the Jahil period in Mecca. Contrary, so everything that we're taught about this culture, about what is superior about it, was actually, in my eyes, what made it inferior. So we're living in a country that has not come to know Islam. We're living in a country, again, something that I found very difficult to deal with was the individualism here. Capitalism, individualism, and I came back feeling that all people do here is just worship money. It wasn't an easy decision as well, because you think, well, number one, am I going to be able to keep up with the Salah? And this is a life-changing decision. What's going to happen about getting a job? I wasn't too concerned about what people might think of me, because I've always been a bit of a stubborn kind of person. I don't really care about what people think of me. So that wasn't an issue. But the difficulty was with my family, with my mother. For 2 years I didn't wear hijab, but after 2 years, 2001, I started to wear hijab and had my mother on the phone in tears, worried that I'm going to become this strange person that she doesn't recognize and that she can't relate to, especially when I was going out to Iran. It didn't really make her feel any more at ease. And she was kind of worried that I might never come back. But alhamdulillah, after 10, 12 years of hard work on both sides, we now alhamdulillah get on with each other. Although last year there was a bit of a family blowout where I discovered that my family, who I thought tolerated my Islam, actually can't stand it. One of my aunts said that Islam is something that you can't cure. Yeah, so my mum said, well, at least she doesn't have some kind of illness. I'd rather her be happy as a Muslim than unhappy with some kind of illness. And my aunt said, illnesses can be treated. Islam cannot be treated. So, and last Friday I attended my grandfather's funeral and I saw them all face to face for the first time since this blowout. And I was very friendly to them because I don't really care. It's no, it doesn't bother me. Think what you like. And alhamdulillah, then 2001, I started to work at Islamic College in London. Started to teach there, and again, it's very mixed. It's got students from all backgrounds, and it was there when I was working on my publications that I came across again the teachings of the Imam, the Bayt, and again, I just thought, well, these are wise teachings. I can't really see anything wrong with them. I don't understand why doctors have a problem with it. So eventually I came to the conclusion that this is the path that makes sense for me. In terms of knowledge, the most important thing about them, and people do get sectarian about it, which is a shame, all they were about is knowledge. That's what they were about. And this, all they wanted to do was to assist people, not only Muslims but non-Muslims as well. So I hope, inshallah, in future with more publications coming into English, that we can all just share in what they have to offer. And so, I think up to now, because now it's coming up for 12 years after the Shahada, it's been, I think about back how I was worried about what might happen about my life, and I've been, alhamdulillah, very well looked after, I would say. And it's just been kind of one miracle after another, especially again making ziyarah, ending up in Iran, in Sham, and of course the last 2 years as well, going to Karbala twice, which I never expected. I always kind of thought about Iran is okay because it's stable, but I always thought with Iraq, thought no, it's not stable, I'll go another time. But 18 months before going to Iraq, alhamdulillah, I did see a dream with Imam Hussein, going into battle in Karbala. And it was a time when I was actually quite reclusive. I was reclusive for quite a long time. And I had a dream where I went out onto my street in Kilburn and looked down the road, and I saw him in the distance going into battle with the dust coming up from the horses' hooves and flags flying. And I was too far away from him. I was too far away to be with him. And I reached out and I said, Imam Hussein, forgive me. And I woke up from that dream, and it disturbed me. I mean, there were other things in it. That I think time to time, what happens is they intervene when you're kind of going down the wrong direction. They'll just show you something, and it's like, you need to be going in the right direction. So one of the things I got from that dream is that I need to participate more in the community. At that time, I was stuck in front of my laptop 24/7, which now I'm just stuck in front of my laptop maybe 17/7. But then it was all the time, and not really taking a lot of notice of what was going on in the community, apart from my job at Press TV, where I met Yvonne. I went on for a year and then I left. And so I started to try to participate in the community, and after that, after 1 year after leaving Press TV, I got a phone call from the director of Bayt TV, and he said, do you want to present for us? So I said yes. I didn't know a lot about the community. When I was at Press TV, again, too busy to have a social life, so I had no idea who was watching, just used to do my job, go home. And I thought the same would be with Bayt TV as well. Go in, do your job, go home. And again, being at Press TV, they've got the nice big cameras, and they've actually got cameramen to operate them, and you've got an auto cue. With Bayt TV, they had this kind of slightly run-down rented studio in Park Royal, 2 little cameras, no cameramen, no auto cue, dodgy sound equipment. There were a few blips, there always are. But one of the things that came out of this, again, was the invitation to go to Iraq, to go to Karbala. And that happened where, out of the blue, we're coming up from Haram. My boss called me into his office, and he just said, how about going to Karbala? And it didn't even take half a second for me to say yes. And that, again, taught me a lot. I would say, again, going to these places, reconnecting with the teachers of this religion, alhamdulillah, I have also made my Hajj, I hope inshallah to make it again with more consciousness and awareness of the significance of the different stages of the Hajj. But when I look back again, I mean, my mum, I try to keep a lot of what I do quiet. It's better not to inflict what you do on your family. So I kept it quiet. I did a talk on Imam Khomeini. I just said, well, I'm doing a talk on spirituality. But my mum, one of the family members did a Google. Oh look, there she is, standing in front of a huge portrait of Imam Khomeini giving a talk. And my mum said that she felt like the Virgin Mary. Like, where's this all come from? It's like, well, you know, I think what Islam does is it takes the best out of you. When we're living in this kind of secular way of life we've got now, it's about being fake. And I know that because I've lived that way of life. It's about the image that you project. And that is very important. It doesn't matter if you're cut to pieces inside. The important thing is that you look good. But with Islam, it's about the heart. It's about being sincere. It's about being yourself. And so I think that intention, that desire for knowledge is converged with this great tradition of knowledge. Here are the masters of this knowledge that I was always looking for. And that's ongoing, inshallah. So here we are today again. I guess none of us maybe imagined we would be here. We don't know where we're going to be in 10 years' time, but definitely shows that there is a plan for us that we just don't know. We can't imagine what's going to happen, and just to trust that plan, trust in the unfolding of that is important. So I think that's where I can really wrap up. There's a lot more to say, but I can't really put it in a nutshell. I've tried to put it in details. I just want to thank Allah for rescuing me from what for me was a hell, a life of hell, before discovering this path. I looked free and happy on the outside, but inside it just wasn't right. So I'm just grateful to be here. صلوات اللهم صل على محمد وآل محمد اللهم صل على محمد وآل محمد اللهم صل على محمد وآل محمد. That was an excellent job. Thank you very much. Very uplifting. Her books are available for sale on the tables in the front for £5 each. I will now open the floor to any questions. You can direct it to Dr. Masterton or to Yvonne Ridley. Any questions?
Yeah. Questions for both the speakers. There are some Muslim sisters who don't wear the headscarf. Do you think that a brother such as yourself should approach them and perhaps advise them to wear it? And if yes, what was the way you can approach them in a way that wouldn't be offensive to them?
Did everybody hear that? The brother at the front was just pointing out that there are some sisters who don't wear the hijab, and he's wondering